What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a new episode of the Modern Commerce Podcast. We got some good stuff for you today. Casey prepared a whole episode. I'm just ready to react to whatever he says. But before we get into that, here's a quick word from today's sponsors. Today's episode is brought to you by Reconvert, a Shopify app that will instantly help you increase your average order value. So after somebody places an order, they pay now. My order's being processed. The number one way that we have found to increase average order value is the post-purchase one-click upsell, which looks just like this. After somebody buys, you make them another offer, and if they take it, it is instantly added to their order. Best way to increase AOV.
That's true, John, but it's not perfect for every brand and every customer for every brand. So one of the other tools that not very many brands are taking advantage of right now is using this confirmation page as real estate to be pitching offers here as well. People are going to be coming back to this page quite often, checking on the status for their orders, and it's a great place to be pitching them other products. It won't be a one-click upsell, but an upsell nonetheless. Great place to get extra conversions. People might reconvert even. So head on over to reconvert.io to increase your average order value today.
Casey.
John.
Who would win in a fight? Jackie Chan in his prime, but he's holding a baby? Or Jackie Chan in his prime, but he is holding a bunch of vases and everyone's asleep and he can't wake anyone up?
How many is a bunch?
Like, what's probably a lot for him? Let's give him 2. Let's not handicap him too hard. So we got a baby.
It's a weird world where 2 are a lot of vases. A lot for the situation. I get it.
Not for Jackie Chan. 2's not a lot for him. He's going to be setting him down, picking him up.
Okay.
So we got baby Jackie Chan. We got Jackie Chan with vases. Neither of them can wake anybody up.
And he has to hold the baby the whole time.
Up, so the baby has to stay asleep too.
He can't. The baby has to stay asleep. Can he set the baby down though?
Yeah.
Can he toss the baby in the air and grab it?
Let's pretend it's a baby that is like a newborn, so it can't hold its head up yet.
Oof, probably not the best practice to take care of a baby that way then. Okay.
No, I mean, look, I think any age baby, don't get in fights with babies in your hand. That's my pre-qualifier for all of this.
Okay. So I guess I see this as the baby Jackie Chan.
You think the baby Jackie Chan would win?
Well, I think, first of all, I don't know why if the one is incentivized to not wake anybody up and the other one is to not like hurt the baby and not have the baby get hurt. I don't know why they both wouldn't just set down everything they're carrying and fight. But here's the main reason why.
No, because they're Jackie Chan. They can't fight with nothing in their hands.
Right. But Baby Chan would do this. He would just start attacking the vases that the other guy is holding. So like,
so neither of them can wake anybody.
I guess by that same logic, the other one can attack the baby. Jackie Chan ain't letting something happen to a baby. You know, he's not gonna let that happen.
That's it. Yeah. The vase Jackie Chan would just have too big of a heart. He wouldn't want to hurt the baby. But yeah, neither of them can wake anybody. So like, if the vases wake someone up, that Jackie Chan loses the fight. The baby wakes someone up, that Jackie Chan loses the fight. I agree. I'm going with Baby Chan just because I think Vase Chan, he just wouldn't do anything to the baby.
Vase Chan sounds like a Star Trek character.
I could see Vase Chan. Oh, well, here's another one. What if one of them makes a noise that isn't their thing? So like, what if Vase Chan just yelled really loud, woke the baby up, the baby starts crying? That'd probably be his best strategy. It'd be the best strategy.
Yeah, I like I'll take Jackie Chan. Like he'll like blow dart the vase or something before that happens. You know, like I'm still going with Baby Chan. It just feels right. I'm not going to root for the dude who's not on the baby's team.
That's true. I think we by default have to pick baby.
Yeah,
team.
But that was
team baby.
That was a nice opening prompt. I like that one.
All right, I want one. Really good. Who would win in a fight?
Oh, do I have one?
I mean, maybe from the
I got
events
one
of the day.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I wanted to make up a fun one too, but all right.
You can make up a fun one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Jeez. Okay. So how about a gorilla or a grizzly bear?
Like a full, like silverback gorilla?
Like adolescent.
Whoa. Like an adolescent.
No, an adolescent gorilla. Yeah, versus a
Adolescent silverback gorilla,
big grizzly bear,
male
wherever they're at their most vicious. Yeah, both males.
versus male. Well, I think the male grizzly bear, because it would be like more vicious than the adolescent silverback gorilla.
No thumbs though. No thumbs.
But well, yeah. What's the environment? Are they in like a plane?
Ooh.
Like, are they in like they're in the grizzly bear's environment? If it's like a big plane,
they're in a swimming pool that has been drained except for 2 feet of water.
okay. How
They're
deep
they have to stay in the swimming pool.
normal? Like they could. There's like a fort. Oh, they have to stay inside.
Yeah,
So
like
if somebody
it's
leaves,
caged in. It's caged in
okay,
above that.
all right.
We
Yeah.
built the
Oh, if
cage.
it's caged, can they climb on the cage?
Oh shoot. Yeah, they can.
If they can climb on the
can.
cage, then the gorilla's got a shot.
That's legal. That's
And
legal.
the gorilla's
Yeah.
got a shot. Yeah.
The crowd can start throwing stuff at you though from there because there's
You can-
humans. Of course, we're selling tickets. They're gonna
Yeah,
throw
right. There's
not like
humans-
bad stuff, but like
There's gonna be
just
humans
distracting.
throwing stuff at the animals in this scenario.
Yeah, yeah, well, like tennis balls or something. Like something like it's not gonna hurt them. They're gonna hit the cage. Just
Like
distract.
bananas. Could they throw bananas?
Like
in
they
there?
don't want the gorilla just like avoiding the fight on the cage. So they're like, get down, come on, gorilla, you dumb gorilla.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the gorilla's eventually going to enter the fight, but I still think then the gorilla has a chance because he can kind of come off the top rope, get in the fight, get back up on the cage. You know, he's got a better retreat plan, whereas the grizzly bear
True.
has to get in there and like fight it out, claw it out. You know what I'm saying?
But the grizzly
do think
bear
the
has
water-
Chris Paul in his corner, shouting out like fight instructions to him because he's
Specifically, Chris Paul.
or Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart. I meant.
Okay. I don't know how that changes things because I don't know if the grizzly bear speaks English, but
Well,
assuming it does,
He's
I
a
still
new
think the
grizzly.
bear because I think the water gives the grizzly bear the advantage a little bit, and I think at the end of the day, it's like I just don't know how the gorilla is going to end up finishing that fight. You know?
Yeah, I'm going gorilla. I think no matter what, team thumbs all day long. Same thing. I'm not rooting against the baby. I'm not rooting against a primate. So,
Okay.
yeah. But
man,
that joke would have been so much better had I got my trades confused and I said the wrong name. Marcus Smart is a grizzly now.
Oh, I get you, Marcus Smart, grizzly.
And I said CP3 and it messed up the whole thing, and then I couldn't even like defend it. All right, John. Who would win in a fight between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg?
This is the best thing I've ever. This is my dream, by the way. My dream is that two well-known billionaire tech investors will fight. All these other fights we've just said, for anybody listening, all these other fights we've just said are purely theoretical. I don't think that a gorilla and grizzly bear have ever fought in a cage in a pool.
Not yet.
Jackie Chan literally can't fight himself. So
AI is getting pretty good these days, though.
AI versions, but like not real. But we're talking about like there might be an actual real fight between Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk. So before I answer, because I want to get your answer first, because I just, I want to get it on paper. I want to get it on record what your answer is. The background here is that, what is it? Oh yeah. So Facebook leaked. They're launching. They're working on a project right now. I can't remember what it's called. Project 92 or something like that. Some tech name. They're working on a project right now that is going to be essentially a competitor to Twitter. And the big value prop is that if you're on Instagram, you can like sign up for it, and all of your followers on Instagram will just kind of instantly be followers there. If they're on the app, right? So it's sort of this competitor to Twitter, but they had in their kind of internal documentation where they're talking about the project. They said it's a competitor to Twitter, but it's run in a sane way. That's what the documentation said. So then, of course, that gets leaked, whether on accident or on purpose. I don't think it's important. Probably on purpose. Let's be honest. And Elon Musk gets a hold of it, and he starts just kind of clowning, Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook and stuff like that. And I think somebody replied to him and said, I don't remember the exact replies. Maybe you do. But somebody replied to him and said, yeah, hey, careful. Zuck's been training. And Elon was like, I would fight Zuck in a cage match. And then Zuck gave him the Khabib response, send location. And then so now everyone's like, what? Like, is this happening? Is this real? Which is the funny thing is, like, I can't think of another time that Zuck has ever like engaged in the trash talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he probably is feeling a little froggish now that he's been training for a couple years, but like I don't think he's ever engaged in the trash talk, but like just to say like send location. And then Dana White, who is he the commissioner of the UFC? Is that correct?
Yeah, part owner and yeah,
And commissioner of the UFC, has said that he has talked to both Zuckerberg and Musk. They are both serious about it, interested in the fight. That he said that Mayweather McGregor is the biggest pay-per-view fight to date, I believe, and this would blow it out of the water at about $100 pay-per-view. I would for sure buy. I've never bought a pay-per-view fight. I would for sure buy this one. And he said both of them are interested. Now we know that Dana White, you as a UFC fan, know that Dana White is 100% honest all the time. He's never lied, right?
100%.
Yeah, never lied. Don't believe it. Don't believe the lies. Don't believe his lies. That's within the UFC community. That's like a they say that. Like,
right.
Lies. They're all lies. So we don't know. We don't know if it's real, but there definitely is plenty of smack talk going on social media. We might have 30. Is Zuck 38, 39? 38.
Oh, I don't know.
39-year-old. He's still in his 30s. I think he's not 40 yet. Mark Zuckerberg fighting a 52 or 51-year-old Elon Musk.
He'll be 52 in 5 days though.
Elon Musk outweighs Zuckerberg by probably 100 pounds. And Zuck has been training.
And that's just his wallet.
Yeah. I see what you did there. Zuck's been training BJJ for, I think, like 2 years-ish now. Elon Musk says he doesn't exercise at all. He throws his kids up in the air sometimes.
Nice.
So,
love it.
No exercise. So, yeah, Casey, your reaction to all this and your pick. Get your pick in.
Maybe you can't trust Dana White, but he's definitely right about one thing. This would be the most anticipated
ever.
Yeah. And you can order that event at dorkfights.com. Make sure you reserve your online reservation. Yeah, I don't even think that's real. It's got to be a real site. I mean, every site is owned, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this I didn't even know the whole actual beef leading up to this. That was some of that was new.
That's why I gave you the background because I figured you didn't.
But I did see some recent footage of Zuck at a BJJ tournament, and I heard a story. I'm getting a tiny bit of echo in my ear. I don't know. But anyway, I heard a story that Zuck lost his BJJ match, and then he had the match restarted. I don't know how. I don't know if he was sponsoring the event. I don't know. I mean, obviously he's got power. It seems like a very Zuckerberg move, but yeah, I think of that as like, and then he won, by the way, in the second. But I wonder if the guy just let him win because he goes, well, this is clearly an exercise in futility. If you could just keep restarting the match, I'm just gonna lay on my back, I guess. So I guess I'm not too afraid of Zuck's. Like, he's not sure. He's younger. You said he's lighter. He might be a little bit quicker, but he's just not imposing at all in any way. I think he's also kind of floundering.
Elon Musk is imposing.
I think that right now he's got a certain swag that Mark Zuckerberg arguably did have in like 2010. Yeah. But Zuck is not at his peak right now. I mean, I'm not even talking physically right now. I just mean like their mind state. I think the metaverse has been kind of a flop. People aren't feeling meta like he was hoping they would, I think. And I think he's not at his peak right now, while Elon Musk is definitely at his peak right now. I mean, he's peak Elon right now. I'm going to take peak Elon, I think, in this fight. Just sheer like willpower, and they'll figure it out. I also want to say this would clearly be the most watched pay-per-view, because imagine just how much they're going to promote it on the platforms that they own. The arguably two of the biggest platforms in the world, and probably the two biggest, right? When you consider that IG is just under Facebook, like, I guess TikTok's not in there, but still, they're going to get a lot of promotion just from that. I mean, it's going to be trending everywhere, and everybody in the world will watch it one way or another. So, but I'm Team Elon, I think. How about you?
I have multiple follow-up questions for you.
Let's go.
Follow-up question 1. What do you consider to be at their peak?
I mean,
wait, for example, why is Elon at his peak right now?
he's just killing it. He's killing the game.
How
And
so?
I mean, he just bought Twitter not that long ago. That's a pretty big acquisition. I don't know what else Zuck is buying, but it's not Twitter. So there you go. It's one of one. I mean, he's killing it.
The profitability or success of the relative businesses they own not relevant here?
I think it's more what are the businesses they built. Okay, and sure they're similar enough, but they're both nerds too. So taking away stuff that's not nerdy, Musk has been building flamethrowers and rockets and stuff like that. Pretty cool, pretty badass. I would vote for that guy to win in a fight. That's the stuff he's thinking around. I mean, stuff that he chooses to run down. I'm like, yeah, that's a dude who's not going to get stopped. Zuckerberg's like, I want to live in a bubble. Like, I want everybody to live in their own bubble that's in a bigger bubble on its own. Like that's what he's dreaming about. That guy doesn't sound scary to me. The guy who's like, I'm going to send my car to the moon. That guy is terrifying to me, and I'll take him in this fight.
My next question is, where did you first learn about the Musk versus Zuckerberg fight prospect?
I think I mean not that long ago. It was
like, do you know where the source of information was?
I believe it was you.
Oh, you didn't know about that?
I didn't know that there was a challenge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was
because I thought when you said it, you were like already like, I'm Team Musk. I think he's gonna win.
Oh, I mean, it just took me that long to decide. I think that was when you asked the questions when I heard about it, and I immediately made a decision, and I'm not looking back.
My next question is, where did you get the information about Zuckerberg's BJJ tournament that he restarted?
The Pat McAfee show. Just in full disclosure. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
But there is video of it. They played the video. I seen it.
Okay. Seen it. How much video? Like 10 minutes?
I mean, it's clips, but there's no like, this is an official redo after you lost. That's not a thing. We've done like wrestling, which is close enough to BJJ to where I feel confident to say they don't go, no, that whole match that just happened doesn't count. We're going to redo it.
Yeah, I haven't seen the footage. So yeah, that's why I'm asking. Is it like, does somebody say we're redoing this? Or like, what is it like? Are we sure it's not a double elimination tournament? Like what's...
No. It wasn't. And even in the little bit of a clip, like his movement did not look good. It didn't look imposing in any way. I don't know. And BJJ is a great skill to have for sure. I mean, especially if you're like in a real like ultimate fight, it's a great skill to have. It's probably not the best skill to like build your base off of though. I think wrestling probably is the best. I think boxing might be the next in my mind. BJJ is like particularly good for like, stalling out, like keeping somebody in an uncomfortable position, kind of tipping the scales in your favor as far as fatigue goes, or ending a fight with a submission. But in like a street fight between these two, if Musk can get in some good shots, that's gonna be, and shots, I mean like laying hands on him. I think that's gonna be a bigger factor.
Okay. Awful.
And a flamethrower.
Awful take. I get what you're saying. He's like, oh, this guy's full of swag. You know what? There's nothing like to kill your swag. Try going and being in a physical fight for just 30 seconds. He'll tap out. He will tap out without getting tapped out. He'll be too exhausted to continue. Like this is a 51-year-old man who admittedly does no exercise. Like it is exhausting. Fighting is exhausting. And BJJ, like boxing, like fighting, it's not like a skill that you just like pick up. Like he'll throw some haymaker punches and then he'll be exhausted, and then he'll either get tapped out or he'll just tap out because he'll be like, I have to continue for 3 minutes and I'm exhausted after 30 seconds.
Yeah, but that's when the old man strength kicks in. He's from a different time. He's not going to let it last. He's going to end it here and now. Zuckerberg's a little baby like us. Like, I mean, I feel like I'm in better shape than most people like 20 years older than me, for sure. I don't want to fight any of those people though, because they lived a harder life in general, and I think they've dealt with more physical things like that weren't officiated.
Talking about about 11-year difference between the two of them.
Yeah, that's enough. That's enough to make. I mean, think about a big brother that's just a couple of years older, man. I mean, that's night and day.
Yeah,
I'm going with age. And
I think,
you want to tell me that Elon Musk is an experiment? He's experienced. Even he's as experienced as Zuck is in this. I think a full on ultimate fight, like no rules, like street fight. Musk is
That's
gonna
not what it is. It's a
scrape it
UFC.
out.
It would be a cage, so there'd be rules.
Sure. But I mean, compared to a BJJ match where there's lots of rules, you can basically do whatever you want in a ultimate fight, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think Musk will be exhausted within seconds. And
That it's already over though. Over. On
all
ice.
I think a little bit of dancing around and Musk will be exhausted just from trying to chase him.
Octagon control though.
He tweeted, "I have this move. This is this is gonna be a strategy. You ready?"
Mm-hmm.
His strategy is, "I have this move that I call the walrus, where I just lie on top of my opponent and do nothing." And he just his size, his sheer bulk is enough. He is pretty big. He's 6'2".
He's
a solid 50 to 75 pounds overweight. So yeah, I know. I think if he trains for this, I think he probably throws his back out in training, and we never even get to the fight. I think that somebody
with all the money in the world to spend on trainers, you think they're going to let that happen to him? Come on.
Yes. Yeah. No. I think honestly, what's going to happen?
Man got his car into space, John.
I don't think that the fight's going to happen. I think someone in Musk's camp is going to be like, "You've got all the cool factor. This guy's got none of the cool factor. You cannot lose it by losing a fight to this guy."
Yeah, but imagine how much cooler he'd be when he beats him.
He just won't. I hope there is a pay-per-view so we can see it. There is a world maybe where if he trains for like a year or more, but if we're talking about 3 months of training, it's not enough time to get in shape.
I don't know. I'm just not worried about Zuck. He just seems like the most unimposing person I've ever encountered ever. And I've never really encountered him.
That might be true. I think I'll take somebody with some training, if for no other reason.
I'll take Jackie Chan holding 6 babies.
Well, yeah,
juggling 6 babies. Can't even set them down.
Jackie Chan over either of these two guys, for sure.
Right.
I think I'll take anyone with some training who's not going to be exhausted within seconds. Like you're like, oh, he's got all the swag in the world. Like, do you know what kills swag faster than anything? The feeling of not being able to breathe, like you're about to drown. You have no swag once you're doing that.
But you're just creating a narrative, man. You don't know that'll happen for sure.
Yeah, I think if this fight were to happen tomorrow, now look, if Musk has some time to get in shape, then at least he could avoid that. If he can avoid that, then who knows? Maybe he gets a paymaker in or something like that. But if this fight were to happen tomorrow, that would be his main problem, is that he would be too exhausted.
What happens if an unforeseen third contender jumps in the cage? And
that's what they should do.
It's Tom from MySpace, the man with more friends than any of us.
Tom's been spending the last 20 years training.
I bet Tom has really fallen from grace.
Yeah.
Talk
about someone who has no swag, no cool, nothing to lose.
Exactly. Tom is coming out like a rabid animal. Because he wins the challenge. You could put Musk and Zuckerberg against Tom, and I'm putting all my money on Tom. Tom's winning.
Musk laid the challenge. Musk has a lot of like it's funny that your public opinion of Musk is like, oh, he's got all the swag, all the cool factor going right now. It's like, that's true, even though Twitter's quarterly earnings reports are like worse than they've ever been. Like nobody cares. It's like, yeah, but he's all right with it. There's not nobody. There's plenty of people who are like, yeah, this person's insane. But then they're like the people who don't. He's just a political figure now. Now that he's declared a political party, like he's essentially a political figure now. So like that half of the people is going to be like, I'm behind this guy, right? So like, yeah, I don't think that like he's got everything to lose in this fight, really. Like,
yeah, that's why he won't.
Zuckerberg's like, who cares? Like, if I lose, it doesn't matter. Like nobody.
I can do narratives too, man.
Everyone who thinks Musk is gonna win just thinks he's gonna win, right? Like, there's no reasoning behind it. So
the reason is he's gonna badass all over him. Zuck ain't got anything on him. That's what it is.
Tom from MySpace, the person with really nothing to lose. But you know what they should do? I think it should be like gladiator style. Like you get your best engineer, I'll get my best engineer. We'll make them fight each other.
Can I just say I believe that like any reports about Zuck like furiously training at BJJ, First of all, if I had seen it with my own eyes, sure, maybe I take his side, but like I don't believe it, man. I don't believe it.
There's been tons of stuff about like him training way before this. Yeah.
Sure. But I don't believe he's like good at it. And just because you've been doing it a long time, sure, it's a huge part of it. But like the main thing about BJJ is what belt are you, right? And I don't know what belt he is, but I also know you got enough money that you get belts a lot faster.
Yeah, I want to say he's a blue belt, but I don't know that for sure.
I mean, that's good. There's good blue belts out there, but that's not like a guarantee. Like again, I'm just assuming Musk has some other stuff too. Like we don't know his whole background.
He did say he's done. He said he's like, I've done some karate, I've done some judo, I've done some boxing.
All striking. We don't know. All striking.
We don't know. I think judo's not striking, is it?
Oh, did you say judo? I mean, there's both, I guess. But I mean, boxing and so and
he's got the walrus move, and he throws his kids into the air. Guy's ready.
Yeah, I think he's going to throw Zuck in the air, and that's how it's going to end.
I don't think the fight's going to happen, but if it did, I would for sure buy the pay-per-view. And if it ended in seconds with Musk tapping out, I would still find it worth it. Or if it ended in seconds with Zuckerberg getting knocked out, I would still find it worth it.
Yeah, if you told me if it's over in the first round, if I could tell you it ends in the first round, who won? Does that change your opinion?
No.
Okay.
I think
it's a first round decision.
I think Musk will be. Yeah, you think Musk can go more than one round? No way.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I told you it ends in one round, maybe that's
I think it's like maybe that guy can go a minute. Maybe, probably not though.
Yeah, we'll see.
Fighting like that, but that is so. If he gets 12 months to train, that he could at least get conditioned.
You're underestimating Elon, man. I mean, he basically bought Twitter just because it pissed him off. That's how it feels like to me.
Yeah. How's it going for him?
That guy isn't going to take something like this lightly.
How's it going for him?
I mean, I think he's okay. I think he's all right.
Maybe.
You know? I mean, I think he's okay.
Twitter wasn't a great buy by most reports.
He's doing all right. He controls his own platform though now, which I think is what he wanted more than anything. So
maybe. I mean, who knows? Who knows what?
I heard he's got money.
I think that he typically likes to build businesses that make him money, though. That's
a good point. But at a certain point, you got to. At a certain point, especially when you're the guy who weighs more, you got to throw that weight around. Why have all that money if you're not going to buy some stuff just to, control your own narratives and stuff? I mean, buying your own social media platform is a baller move. Let's just be real about it.
Okay.
Creating one also is fair enough.
I think it is very. I think it is very uncorrelated with your ability to win a fight.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, my opinion. That's just like my opinion, man.
McGregor.
What?
Kind of how he won.
Did he buy a social media platform?
Oh no, I just meant like the swag factor. That
Oh,
come in with that.
McGregor was also capable of fighting, and he trained really hard.
Yeah, sure. That's what Elon would do.
He would need a long time of training to get in shape first, and then to also learn to fight. Like if this fight happened within a short period of time, my question though is, who do you think would be on if they're the main event, who else would be on that card? Even like who do you put fighters on the card, or do you just find other like business people that have to fight each other?
Yeah, like Gary V versus
like Gary V versus Grant Cardone on the card.
I was just gonna say Grant Cardone. Yeah, I mean, who wins that fight? Gary V probably. Just pure tenacity.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think he just yelled. Actually,
you gotta wake up and you gotta grind.
Jordan Belfort versus, I don't know, someone else.
Dan Pena.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be a good card either way.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope it happens. Definitely. And
I think that Musk is going to get injured in training, and then they won't be able to fight. That's what's going to happen. That's my prediction, or it will just go away. It might just kind of go away, and then
I think that's the most likely thing to happen. But that's no fun. So let's move on.
Let's keep pushing the agenda. Hey,
yeah, let's keep it in the news cycle until it happens.
I'm sure that they're watching and listening.
Let's get a Trump versus Biden match in there.
On that same card, then
let's just settle it that way. Winner gets the White House for the next 4 years. That one would
be like whoever can.
Somebody's
move.
dying. The loser is dead. They don't survive.
Whoever can move. Both of them would be gassed by the time they got to the center of the ring to meet each other. They'd be like, "Hold on, I need a break. You good with a break?" Yeah, I'm good.
I mean, yeah, that's fair to say.
Okay, so how about submarines though? That was a
Proud of him.
really hard switch. I didn't transition at all.
You're master of the segue.
Yeah, the segue. Actually, before we do that, you know what is a great segue? Let's hear a word from our other sponsor. Ready, set, go. What's up, everybody? Today's episode is brought to you by ModCom. It's a super slick in-car upsell app. So if I want to buy these New Balance trainers I'm trying to get in shape, I add them to my cart. My cart opens up and it says, hey, look, you're only $5 away from free shipping. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll add this to my cart since you recommended it. And now I got my free shipping. But hold up, I'm only $38 away from a free gift. So why don't I add a pair of size 8 New Balance trainers to my cart for my girlfriend? She's got bigger feet than me. And now look at this. It actually automatically added that free gift straight to my cart for me. That will all be there when I check out. Super nifty app, super slick, super quick way to increase your AOV. Go to monkcommerce.com. Try it free on your store for 7 days. So submarines. The submarine thing happened this week. I think most people know about it, but do you want to run it down? I looked into the backstory. I just, because it's a business pod and I like to tell stories about businesses, I felt like, hey, let's can I look into the backstory of this submarine business? OceanGate.
Ocean Spray?
Ocean Spray is a drink brand. It's OceanGate.
It's Watergate.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's like Watergate, but with ocean. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Which is, I don't know if do you think they knew? Like, were they like, oh yeah, there's a little nod to Watergate?
I mean, kind of interesting, right? Because I don't know how much you want to tell the backstory of this.
Humans notoriously look for patterns where there are none. But okay, so what happened with this submarine? I'm assuming you're following that more than I am because you follow the actual like news and current events more. A lot of times you say current events things, I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I mean, not in like any particular terms. I'm not the most researched on the topic, but to my understanding, got a bunch of rich people. I think there were 5.
Yep.
4 or 5.
That's accurate. Yep, 5.
They all got
paid customers. Yeah.
They all got into this little
submarine
tube.
Goes underwater. It's a
submerging. Well, by that logic, then like rocks are submarines.
It's it's a submerging watercraft. A watercraft can submerge. Well, I mean, you're telling the story. Telling the story. They get into it. That's what it is, and
they got into it because
spoiling the end.
They're big fans of the Titanic, and they wanted to go see it up close in person.
I heard Titaniacs.
That's like the word.
Titaniacs. Yeah, that's like the word.
Wow.
That's the CEO of OceanGate used that word. Like a lot of the people who come on these are Titaniacs. They're like really big history buffs around specifically the Titanic.
News to me. News to me.
Rich people get into weird stuff.
For those who don't know, the Titanic was
we maybe shouldn't be so flippant about this. People,
No, hey, you can do whatever you want. I'm going to be very flippant, I think. That's my stance. Right. If you don't know, the Titanic was a ship. It sunk pretty famously. It sunk.
Yeah. In an iceberg. There's a movie about it.
Big boat sank in the ocean all the way to the bottom. And that's what these people wanted to go see in a submarine. You call it a submarine. I call it a tube. First of all, they spent $250 million a piece to go into this submarine.
250,000.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for catching me.
Yeah, that's a big. I was like, hey, if you just said like 2.5 million, I'd have been like, it's one less zero.
Well, I heard one of the. Yeah, you're right. That was a move the comma around. I was thinking
you put a whole 3 more zeros on it.
Well, I heard one of the guys at least was a billionaire, so I just started thinking same thing to him.
Look, nobody's spending 250,000 on anything unless they got some money. So
right. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, they all spent a pretty penny to get into this submarine and go see the Titanic. I won't spoil the ending, I guess, because you'll get into it. But I want to just say the decision-making skills being used on this. Before we know what happens. Okay. First of all, it sounds like a nightmare just in general. Like if you're claustrophobic at all, getting in a submarine of any kind to go anywhere, even above water, terrifying. Because no matter where you are, above, below the water, you're still locked into this thing. You can't get out. And especially this one, they can't open it from the inside. They have to get it open from the outside. They got bolted in with like 20 bolts, and they have to have the outside team take them out. So they all get in this 5 passengers, and I think 1 pilot operating it, and they go down and they It's like many hours. I want to say that like this is supposed to be like a many hour thing. I don't know how long it takes, but a long time.
Yeah.
It takes a really long time to get down there. And they go look at they go look at the shipwreck. The funny thing about it is like it's not like you go down there and I can feel it. You know, you can't touch it with your hands. You can't touch
Titanic.
it. Yeah. When you see it on a screen because they have a camera, obviously. Yep. And my thoughts are, hey, it's going to be displayed on a screen. Like, why do you need to be in the submarine?
The 1998 hit movie, The Titanic.
Yeah.
I think it was 90.
You get a real great view of the ship in that one.
Yeah.
Probably
you know what? Better. It might have been even more because I heard that the Titanic had its 20-year anniversary. So maybe it was like even more.
20? Oh, the movie.
I was like, dude, it was 1997, 1998, something like that. Yeah.
That checks out. Yeah.
Yeah. Hit movie, The Titanic. Also see the Titanic on a screen in that movie.
Yeah. Pretty solid.
Don't have to spend $250,000 on it.
Yeah. No. And you don't have to share a metal tube with 4 other humans.
Yeah. They're supposed to be down there for like multiple days with just them. Like, where did they go to the bath? I mean, I'm assuming it had a bathroom, but
yeah. Can we tell the like once over of like what happens? You want to like carry this?
Yeah, go ahead.
More before
so go ahead. They go down there. They look at the Titanic. They get lost track.
We don't know that.
Covering anything.
I don't think we know that. I don't think we know that, John.
This news is out there. Yeah. Well, we know that they lost track of them.
Right. Sure. The outside world lost track of this submarine an hour and 15 or an hour and 45 minutes in, one or the other.
Some point, and then
just so that we're clear in telling the story, we don't know that these people got to go see the Titanic.
Yeah,
they were lost well before they reached there, and they might and ultimately they did not survive.
I mean, we don't know that either, but probably not. Yeah, the shipwreck of the whatever you want to call it, submarine tube was found within the vicinity near the Titanic.
Which like I heard there's no way they can really like make for sure that that's what happened because the pressure is so dense down there that as soon as the structure is compromised, it literally like compresses. All of it would compress down to like a marble size thing. That'd be the biggest piece of debris. So they go, hey, we found some stuff. Like, oh,
we think this is it. Yep.
We have no idea. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know any of that, but we haven't heard from them. And I'm imagining if they're still alive, we would have heard from them by now.
Well, if you would, before I know you got more
stuff
planned.
Or it was an elaborate scheme for them to all restart anew. And they are now where Tupac and Biggie are on some island somewhere.
I mean,
we could choose to believe that. We could choose.
Hold on. It sounds like the way you're presenting this is like it's not like a real possibility at all. No,
I think 100% it's a possibility.
Let's take a stroll.
Anything's possible, Casey.
Take a stroll through my neighborhood of conspiracy.
Let's go. Let's go down the lane.
So we got I don't know about you, but again, back to like, Zuck, Elon, people with this amount of money, billionaires, millionaires. These people spent $250,000 to go see the friggin' shipwreck of the Titanic, to get in a metal tube that looks awful, not comfortable at all, to share one toilet that has a curtain. They have to be down there for multiple days with these people they've never met. And that's to see the Titanic wreckage on a screen. And I think they have like one little porthole that's like this big. There's nothing you gain by being there, really, like objectively speaking, other than you're just close to it, and you know that, but you don't.
Well, yeah, I mean, other than we already have established that rich people do weird stuff with their money.
I'm just saying, sure. But typically, they make pretty good, like decently good decisions. I mean, they got their money somehow, right? Maybe it's family money. Who knows? Let's just pretend it's not, though. They make decent decisions usually. This is a bad decision. Like, this is just dumb. There's no payoff. It's stupid. I'm just saying it. It is. I'm sorry for the families.
Want to restart, maybe.
But like, I think I almost do believe this.
I'm sick of always being the guy, like I just want to go live on an island somewhere.
Bottom of the ocean. Yeah. Well, no, I think, come on. Lay it out better. Biggie, Tupac are aside, these people have so much money. Imagine how much you pay in taxes.
I know.
Right? And hey, guess what? After you're dead and you just pop up somewhere else on some island, like you said.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what?
I'm not saying it's not possible.
That dude's dead now. Like you can live off of just what you saved in taxes for the rest of your life. you know,
Yeah.
and you could do right by your family. They get a ton of money still. You just had to put some off to the side, squirrel it away. And, you know, let's just say you were unhappy with your, you know, business life, with
Yeah.
your romantic life. You know,
Midlife
maybe you're
crisis.
sick of your kids. Maybe they're grown up. Maybe they're
Maybe they're
40-year-old. They're
like,
still
these kids
mooching
are
off of you.
awful. Yeah.
And you go, you know what? I'll provide for you for the rest of your life, but I don't want to be there. Like,
Yeah.
I need a break for the rest of my life.
I think I like to choose to believe this theory because it's less tragic, you know.
Like, that's where I'm coming from.
I'm
I
just
know it
trying to
doesn't
put a
sound
positive
like it,
spin
maybe.
on it. Yeah.
100%. Plus, like, you know, yeah. I don't want to believe they were this dumb. Is the other piece either? Like, I don't want to believe that people who are this successful
So this
wanted
is probably,
this thing this bad.
this is probably a good point to get into the background of the co-founders of OceanGate, because it's not necessarily dumb. It's more like everybody's got their stuff, right? That like, here's my POV on this. Everybody's got their stuff that other people see as unreasonable. So think about it even like from a money standpoint. I'll give you a great example. My in-laws spend $10,000 on bicycles that you pedal. A lot of people think that's like really dumb, right? Like that, that's stupid. Objectively, that's a bad decision. Not to them. That's what they're into. Other people spend lots of money on clothes or lots of money on whatever. I think that
the odds of you dying on a $10,000 bicycle.
Stick with me though. It's like, what are they into? Like they want to be explorers, right? Like they're just into exploring, even if it's risky. They're the same kind of people that would climb Mount Everest or use Elon Musk's company SpaceX to go into space, right? So there is actually a whole industry of like high-end tourism, like high-end tourism. Like, we're going to go underwater, we're going to go into space, we're going to go up Mount Everest. People have been doing that for a long time. So it's really, I think, a variation of that. They're just, you know, risk takers, explorers.
Yeah, plus it's a flex, you know. I get it. It's just a silly flex. That feels like it means
It's either a silly flex or it's genuinely what they're into doing.
Sure. But these people are alive on an island.
You're like, why? Because that's not what you would ever be into, even with a lot of money.
No.
Get it?
And we'll see. I mean, maybe, like, I guess we won't see.
You're like, we'll see. Once I'm a billionaire, we'll see. Maybe I'll be.
Yeah, we will see. Hey, by the way, if I ever die in a submarine accident,
I'll be like,
I'm living on an island somewhere.
I'm going to pull up the clip. Yeah, you're living on an island somewhere.
That's the.
It wasn't real.
I'm on a beach with Morgan Freeman.
I won't rest until I find
him.
him.
And it was Ziwatanejo.
Yeah, Ziwatanejo. Yeah.
Is that how you say it? Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I am. I'm there. Me and Timothy Robbins and Morgan Freeman, we're just hanging out, having a good time.
And Ziwatanejo. I like it. Okay, I'll find you.
All right. Tell me about OceanGate.
Yeah, so OceanGate. So Stockton Rush is the founder. He was on the, whatever you want to call it. He was on, let's call it what it is called. It was called the Titan. He was aboard the Titan, or in the Titan. On is probably not the correct term. He was aboard the Titan when this happened, so he is also presumed dead. So Stockton Rush, he comes from a wealthy San Francisco family. Here's something interesting about him. He's actually a descendant of two separate people through his dad's side who signed the Declaration of Independence. One of them helped like kind of found or bring what is now Princeton University to like where it is now, Princeton, New Jersey. And the other one was just like, they were both like continental congressmen, which I don't know what that word means, continental congressman. I don't know if it's different than a normal congressman in that time, if it's just the equivalent of what a congressman is. But they were both like continental congressmen, like college professors, that kind of thing. Both signed the Declaration of Independence. So that's the stock this guy comes from. No pun intended, because his name's Stockton.
Hey, John, just curious, what ethnicity is this guy?
His name is Stockton Rush, and he's from San Francisco. So I'm going to let you take a wild guess here.
Puerto Rican, or
definitely sounds Puerto Rican. No, he's a white.
Yeah, no, this is the whitest sounding name and backstory I've ever heard in my life.
Lineage. Yeah, he's white.
This is the whitest man of all time.
He's got old white money. Like he's got old money, like several generations old, and it's like that's like when people are like, oh, like this guy had white people problems, like this is what people mean when they say white people stuff,
yeah,
right?
This dude's like, my butler is already scrubbing the floor, so he can't come over here and tie my shoe for me.
Yeah, I need someone else to do it. I don't know if that's an accurate description. I didn't know him.
I don't know. I mean, it's more
setting
fun.
The scene here. He definitely had family money. Sure. So when he was a kid, basically he wanted to be an astronaut, like many kids do. He became a pilot at 18. So he got his pilot's license. He wanted to join the Air Force. He was disqualified from being a pilot in the Air Force because of his vision. So he doesn't have good enough vision to be a pilot. But he was a test engineer for F-15 jets at that age, 18, 19 years old. He got his bachelor's in engineering, aerospace engineering. He got it from Princeton. I don't know. I'm guessing that he doesn't have to pay tuition at Princeton. And then he got an MBA from Berkeley, from Cal Berkeley. So around 2004, he kind of realized like he just wanted to be an explorer. He was kind of like, I don't need to be an astronaut, but like I want to be an explorer. I want to explore things. So he pivoted from like the space thing to more like underwater exploration at that point in time. So the way he kind of made his own fortune was by investing in tech companies. So he was born in 1962. Pretty good time to be investing in tech companies, like throughout his life. So he made his kind of own fortune investing in tech companies. And I'm not 100% sure how OceanGate is funded, but I think he's done a lot of the funding, like with his own bankroll. So he went about buying a submarine because he wanted to be an explorer. He's like, I want to get a submarine, go explore the ocean. And which is like, that's a white, like, you know, when people are like, that's a white person thing.
Only
like,
white people have done it. I
decide like, I want to buy a submarine.
So I made some fun of this business plan already and the people who would get on it. But as far as I know, they have done like 3 or 4 successful expeditions.
Yeah. So over 200.
What? Oh, really? That many? I don't know if this is accurate.
Yeah.
But in the reporting that I heard about it, 0 black people signed up, which is the only sign you need.
I don't know where you heard that, but
that's what I heard.
That sounds like a white dude thing to do. You know,
I get most of my news from the Pat McAfee show. That's where I heard this report from. And Pac-Man Jones, Adam Pac-Man Jones, former DB of the Cincinnati Bengals, said no black people signed up for this. And hey, that is my canary in the coal mine.
Jones says it, then
yeah, that's my canary in the coal mine, big time. If Pac-Man isn't about it, I'm not about it. So yeah, that's where I form most of my stance.
That's Pac-Man certified.
Yeah,
it checks. It does seem like a midlife crisis white guy thing to do, you know. So anyway, he's like, I want to buy a sub. It turns out there are about 100 private at this point, 2004. There's about 100 privately owned submarines in the world. I did not know this. Why would that be the case? What? I have so many questions about that, but I didn't go down that rabbit hole. Why are there so many privately owned submarines? Who has use for those? Anyway, cool. Nobody was selling. There's only 100 of them. There wasn't a number. Everyone was like, no, I want the submarine too. Like, I'm also a white guy having a midlife crisis. Right. So nobody wanted to sell their submarine. So he's an engineer. He made a submarine. Like he created a plan for a submarine, and his company OceanGate that was founded in 2006. Or no, it wasn't founded in 2006. Yeah, he created the plans and he built a submarine in 2006. Obviously cost a lot of money. It wasn't like it was 12 feet long. It was only capable of going about 30 feet underwater. So, you know, coral reef type stuff.
Hey, right? Not to spoil the story, but his finished model, not so great either.
Coral reef type stuff. Well, they've got 3. OceanGate has 3. Only one of them has allegedly imploded, but none of them have imploded because they're all living on an island.
Yeah.
So the finished product is good. We just
you're right. You're actually right about that.
They'll never get to use it again because it's like, well, with that that's gone. Right. It's done now.
Maybe like 40 years from now, they just send it off like on a phantom mission, nobody in it, just so they could get found. And be like, what? Like they're alive somewhere.
Mind blown. Yeah,
that would be awesome.
Whoever the last dude alive on the island is like, this is the plan all along.
Hey, I know you guys, we got good Wi-Fi on the island and you're listening to this podcast. Please do that.
Yeah,
set a clock, set a calendar alert for 40 years from today.
Alert.
Yeah, like, bing,
you know what it was?
Submarine.
I bet all of them just saw the AI writing on the wall. They're like, I don't really like the way this AI thing's going. The robots are going to take over the world. Like, let's just go do our own thing somewhere.
See, thank you for jumping into my reality where it's way more fun and everybody's alive.
This is what it's like in Casey's brain.
Hello.
Yeah. All right. So it was capable going 30 feet underwater. For reference, this thing went 30 feet underwater, meaning it was kind of like coral reef type stuff. That's what you could go explore with this. For reference, the Titanic is roughly 12,500 feet underwater. Pretty far down. It's at the bottom. It was a big ship. Went all the way to the bottom of the ocean. when it sunk. Like bottom is pretty far down. And I also, that's like not even the deepest part, because the Titanic is actually not that far from Canada. It's like 300 miles off the coast of like Newfoundland or whatever. That's not what it's called now. It's called something else, but Nova Scotia. So yeah, it's like pretty close to land. So it's not even the deepest part of the ocean. So here's where Stockton gets a little bit interesting. He, in his research of doing subs, so they founded the company in 2009. I'll get into that, but a couple things about this guy. Actually, I'm going to circle back to this. So he met his co-founder, a dude named Guillermo Solane. I don't think I'm saying that name right. Co-founder is not part of this anymore, but just some background on that guy. Also very successful. He's a co-founder of Milo, which is a speech recognition app that got acquired in 2001. He's been a tech advisor. He's founded the International Association of Space Entrepreneurs. Yes, that's a real thing. So this guy also pretty into exploring. So yeah, they co-founded OceanGate. I think the what's his name, Guillermo, got out long before this. I think 2013 or something like that. He's not part of the company anymore. So OceanGate eventually ended up with 3 vessels. One is the very first one that he made, I think, right? Yeah. One is that very first one. No, it's not. It's not. So that first one, I think, was just a different prototype. They acquired one called the Antipodes, I think. And it's small. It's like a 72-hour max thing for 5 people. Doesn't go very deep. Then they built 2, one called the Cyclops 1. It goes about 1,600 feet underwater. So that's like, you can explore some stuff 1,600 feet underwater. You could basically, anything in pretty much most lakes, you could explore with that submarine. Okay. And then they have the Titan, which was the one that they used to go down to the Titanic. Lots of innovation on the Titan. Like, its exoskeleton is made from different things than subs are usually made from. It's has different kinds of materials. It has had 2 other voyages to the Titanic that have been successful. So it goes 13,000 feet underwater. Again, reference, Titanic is 12.5. Feel like there should be more buffer there, but that's just me. What do I know? I'm no scientist, not a science pod.
Razor thin margin on those safety protocols.
Yeah, no science. So that's the thing, is there are no safety protocols applied to his submarines because it's a privately owned company. Stockton Rush himself has come out and said that he thinks that submarines get painted as unsafe, and they're not unsafe. Like, they have a reputation of being unsafe, and they're not unsafe. And also, I guess there is an act, the Passenger Safety Vessel Act of 1993, which is a U.S. law, and it regulates the construction of like commercial vessels. He said, quote, he feels it needlessly prioritized passenger safety over commercial innovation. Essentially, his point being, that's like a pulled quote that makes him sound really like, maybe bad considering the circumstances. But basically his point is like, innovation is rarely accounted for in like all of these, and that's true in tech and in everything, right? Like, innovation is rarely accounted for in these like kind of protocols and guidelines. So he's not wrong about that, but yeah, that was kind of an unfortunate quote. In any case, yeah. So that's what happened. Made that. They've had over 200 dives since 2009 in their vessels. And yeah, in 2021 and 2022, they did have dives to the Titanic with the Titan. It's about $250,000 a ticket. And this is sort of actually like a bigger thing here, is that, like what I said earlier, there's like this big industry of like mega rich person tourism that's like, Mount Everest is like a great example because people have been doing it for a long time, but it's a lot of money. It's like $60,000 or something like that to climb Mount Everest. It's like SpaceX, Elon Musk's company, and Richard Branson's company. I can't remember what it's called, something Virgin Space or something. I don't know. That probably isn't it. Are both doing commercial voyages into space. And I think that Richard Branson's company is actually supposed to launch one like later this month. I think SpaceX has already launched some where it's like you can just buy tickets and go to space. So again, objectively, you'd think it's a bad decision, but I think that like the whole industry is built around the idea that people with this kind of money value experience over anything, right? And so like, how
Right.
can I have an experience that's just rare and no one else can have, even if it is uncomfortable? And again, it's like, if you're an explorer, it's like, it's not, the point isn't to be comfortable. The point is to see things that you have to be uncomfortable to see. So I kind of get it, you know, that there's this whole industry around it. But yeah, that's kind of the back story of OceanGate. What do you think, Casey?
Look, rich people have been crazy for
Rich people be
centuries,
crazy. Rich people be crazy.
millennia, honestly. You know, I
Right.
mean, I
Yeah.
think that there's historical examples, you know, going back to like ancient Greece and probably before that if we had records.
I mean, dude, the Egyptian dudes were building like pyramids and gigantic statues of themselves. Like,
in Italy, in the Roman Empire, didn't Nero like burn down like half of Rome or something crazy like that at one point? I mean, yeah,
I don't
rich
know.
people
How,
do
yeah,
crazy stuff.
rich people
Which
be
rich
crazy.
people like to do crazy stuff, and I don't necessarily put it past a guy for trying to make some bankroll off of that. At the
Yeah.
same time,
Well, I think he specifically, because like, so he was on this, so he was taking a seat that somebody could have bought. So like he himself is kind of like a thrill seeker. So I think he's kind of like scratching his own itch while also being like, how do I make money doing that?
for sure, I just think that it's, first of all, not a great look socially to be like, all the safety stuff. What are we doing here?
Why is there such an emphasis on safety?
And you got to know that even if nothing bad like you're putting a lot of faith that nothing bad is going to happen, because how bad does that look when when something does happen like this? Like, I'm sure that's,
Well, I think that maybe his
people
take on
putting
it
that.
is like, well, what do I care? I'm going to be on an island anyway, you know? Like,
Yeah, I mean, that's fair, I guess, but that's not how most of us would judge our actions. So I think
I
it's
think
fair
it's
to
also like, what,
use that
you
lens
know,
on
you
him as
talked
well.
about Elon earlier. A
Yeah.
similar thing could happen to him, right? Like he could make an outlandish claim.
Again,
Where
his like,
but like, you know, it's
him
like,
buying Twitter for
yeah.
whether it's a good financial investment or not, I don't think it really increases the likelihood that many of its users are going to perish.
Well, SpaceX certainly is in the same category.
Okay, that's fair. SpaceX. I mean,
Yeah,
are they doing?
I could see him making bold claims about like, you know, if he didn't pass the space safety inspection or so. I could see him saying something similar. It's like these safety inspections don't account for innovation. Like my technology is safer than anything, and then things could happen, right? Like, and then that would, in hindsight, look pretty bad.
Maybe.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's just like, it's kind of like just a bold entrepreneurial thing to say. I don't necessarily hold it against him. Plus, he got these guys to the island, man. They wanted to go to the island. He got them there.
That's true. That's
It
what
was
we
his
really need to
master
remember
plan.
here.
I'm gonna assume it was
Yeah.
his plan.
Obviously, makes a ton of sense. For that, I give him 10 points because clearly that's how this is all played out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, when you see an opportunity, you got to run it down. And this was a business opportunity. Let's be real. If this guy didn't do it, somebody else was going to do it eventually. So yeah, you can't stop. You can't stop ideas that are valuable. And these are inherently valuable ideas when people are willing to pay. I mean, just
there's
on
market,
that one
there's
trip
a market
alone,
for it, as proven by SpaceX, as proven by years and years of people paying to go at Mount Everest. I think there actually maybe are competitors to OceanGate now. Like, yeah, so there's a market for like high-end explorer.
Honestly, and you know, at least before the age of social media, there was no such thing as bad publicity. So in a weird roundabout way, especially for a competitor who's maybe going to advocate for safety, extra safety, maybe this is a real opportunity. Somebody should get in the submarine business.
How many people you think saw the story and were like, hold up,
I'm gonna do it now.
You can go in a submarine and go see the Titanic?
I mean, there's a lot of Leonardo DiCaprio fans out there, and I think that I don't know if a lot of them have $250,000, but
some of them do.
You know, hey, you know the trickle down economics thing? Like in 30 years, that price tag's more like 15K.
So that's actually one of the things I learned in finding out about this is that the market of like high end tourism, and we're talking, I mean, there's others like helicopter tours of remote islands. A lot of times it's like uncomfortable stuff. So Will Smith actually did a whole docu-series before he slapped Chris Rock. He actually did a whole docu-series where like he kind of said like his whole point was like, I've played a bunch of roles. I've done all of this stuff in movies, but I've done very little in my real life.
Right.
And so he kind of did this whole thing where he like did a bunch of hard exploration stuff, and given like, you could say, well, he did it for the content, you know, and maybe he did, but like also I kind of buy, like, I don't think it I don't think it was easy for him. And I think that's like
Sure.
part of it, is that people have success in one area of their life. The thing about, Elon Musk, it's like people have success in one area of their life that's very like mentally like focused. And they're like, well, can I also like do like physical feats? Right. And so
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where this whole area stems from. And one of the things that I learned in looking into this is that it's like a growing market, because that like more and more people are going to be that wealthy over time, partially because of inflation. So we don't know how that will play out. Like, are the prices just going to go up? We don't know that, but like typically inflation affects that kind of stuff less, because it's like, yeah, if it's $250,000, even with inflation, that's still a lot of money. Right.
Right.
So yeah, like that market of like mega rich people who are looking for insane experiences is growing. And then also millennials and subsequently Gen Z have more and more, like if you look at it from baby boomers down to Gen Z, each generation has more and more valued experiences and less valued possessions.
Sure.
Yeah. So
van life, hashtag van life.
Right. Yeah. So I get it. It's probably a growing market, right? So it's, I don't know. I'm not necessarily saying I would get into it. I think you have to be pretty well bankrolled. He developed both of these. They're based in Washington, like Western Washington, by the way, Everett, Washington. And I think he developed both of the subs that they built, the Titan and the Cyclops, with the University of Washington's like engineering department. So you gotta have some money to do that.
I imagine that this could actually go down the same path as like skydiving, whereas like as recently as like 150 years ago,
objectively kind of dumb,
crazy, and it must have been expensive when it first came about. But now, I mean, I can't imagine it's very expensive at all. You can go do it any day of the week. I think it's pretty well within most adults' budgets. Like, it's, I mean, if you save up for it,
you really want to do it, you can.
Exactly. It's very readily available.
The biggest barrier to skydiving isn't money. It's whether you want to do it or not.
Right. And I think that's something like this, give it another 150 years for sure. I imagine that's a snap of the wrist. I mean, you probably jump in your teleporter machine and
the robots have taken over by then.
Yeah. You're back on the actual Titanic while it's, you're hanging over the bow, like, the world. You're drawing naked ladies on couches, man. Like, you're there.
You're
shoveling coal into the furnace, dude.
Shoveling coal, seeing the water come in.
You're playing a violin on a sinking boat,
Yeah, taking some lady's spot, Gotta do what you gotta do.
You're laying on a door, reaching into the water, trying to save your romantic interests.
Yeah.
Not really, though. Not trying hard enough.
Because there wasn't enough room on the door for both of you.
I mean, that was a brutal scene,
Yeah. That was the main thing. Even when I was 8 years old watching that thing, 10 years old, however old I was, it was like, there was enough room on that door, lady. It was a big door.
Yeah. Feels like a supply and demand kind of issue. Business.
He's like, you just stay on the door. I'll freeze to death. Like, what a weird martyr move.
Yeah. I mean,
come on, Jack.
That's just the way he was. That's the way he was.
Come on, Jack. You better. All right. Well, that's the show for you today. That's the business.
Hope you learned a lot.
Elon versus Zuck. We know Dana White's a liar, and we know that high-end, super expensive tourism is a thing. If you've got the bankroll, a spot in the market just opened up because some guys and that's the other thing. You can really do a great service by just being like, hey, you want to go to the island? I can get you there.
Let's go, baby.
That's it. If you're listening to the pod on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any other audio app, please give us a rating, review this episode. Tell us like, hey, guys, what are you even talking about here? Let us know. Let us know what you think. Let us know what content you'd like to hear more of. If there's any businesses you'd like us to break down and talk about, happy to do so. If you're listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you get notifications when we drop new videos. We should be dropping about an episode a week. So it'll be a good time. And I think that's all the things. Casey, you want to say anything to the people?
Bye, everybody.
Bye to the people.